Hey, what's up, y'all? So today I'm gonna tell y'all the full story about the time we had gone to war with the notorious gang family out of New Mexico. I was up in Albuquerque. I was at that time I had just started doing county time. I was well, not just started, but at that point I was in county because they had me at STG. They automatically stuck me in a pod called Safe 4 as a high risk segregation. So they stuck me off in that segregation. I locked in with my boys. It was, my partner M and my partner T. Really good vatos, really good vatos, solid about where they were from and how they handled their business. So usually in the morning, we'd get up and in the morning we'd hit burpees and we'd get our rutina. We read. We were big into reading, and they had me in 32, one of my homeboys in 31, and my other homeboy in 30. So sometimes depending on who the officer was Officer Poole and Officer Baca in Seg 4 at that time, and we went off into there and these vatos kept just talking shit. During that time, you could do one or two things. You could either sell your tier time for extra trays, or you could take your little bit of tier time that you get, or you could split it. Give me a little bit of food, but let me take a shower, tell the officer, and I'll bring you out. Boom. Let you walk around and handle your business. Sometimes, depending on who you are, they'll pop the bean holes of your homeboys that you rap to them. But this time there was a vato from San Jose, from a gang named San Jose off in Albuquerque, right? This vato was telling me, he was like, look, it's all your homeboys. They asked me to give, and I was a kid. I don't know how I felt for this. And to be honest, it wasn't even real. They didn't even want me to do this. So I was just a stupid kid trying to just gain reputation, right? So he was like, yeah, they want you to go downstairs, ask the officers to move you to the downstairs rec so that we can come out. And then as you're going down there, you're pretty cool with Cool and Baca, so they're not going to cuff you. Go down there and slide off there. And as you're sliding down there, make your way like you're talking. Walk around the tables, and kind of, get them to pay attention to you. Then slide off over there and, smash the cage, the buttons on the picket, so that it would open up all the cells. And so I did it. But what I did was I went to outside rec, and if you go to outside rec and you look on the inside of the black windows, you can like tippy toe up and over to look behind the panel. I was trying to see which buttons would open the doors, because there's multiple, like a green, yellow, and a red. Some would turn on lights, some would turn on the speaker for them to talk to us on the phone, in the speaker in the cell, and some would open the doors. So I did that, and I was out there for 30 minutes, doing walking around, coming, and then standing and looking at the homies. I was trying to get my homies' attention to sign to be like, you know what I mean? But like I was a kid, and I wanted to prove myself so much that I kept just looking over at that vato that was from San Juan, and just kept telling him, hey, you're in their vent, tell them that it's about to crack, that I'm about to do it. So I went in and walked, hit my workout. I don't know if any of y'all ever been in them segregation yards out there in Albuquerque and MDC. There, especially when they're 1 yard, it's just a whole lot of gray concrete blocks, and if you look above you, there's like a blue cage, like that's kind of like just a whole bunch of just little holes, like square holes covered by blue. So finally they come and they let me out, and I was like, I was nervous, bro. I was nervous. So I was like, So I asked him, like, hey, can you walk me over there to talk to my homie Dreamer real quick? Dreamer was on the bottom tier. He was on the bottom tier, right below where the homies were. And he was from a gang named Maravilla Greenlighters. And this vato, I told him, I was like, hey, get a hold of the homies and see if it's true. See if the homies want me to, pop this picket, because that's a big thing, There's, not only was there that notorious gang, there was another notorious gang that was there, that them two gangs collide with each other. So it was going to be a big thing, and I just wasn't trying to get any of my homies hurt, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to get anybody hurt or unprepared, because I felt like they would have told me if that was something they wanted to do. So I started thinking maybe this vato's for the other side, and he's just trying to tell me to do something so that they can get at us. So I got to thinking for a bit, and then the officer, come on. Let's go, Reaper, let's go. And I was like, hold on, give it a second, give me a minute, I'm just talking to him. I was like, it's something important, just give me a minute. So he landed up, locking the gate behind me, locking the blue cage behind me and moving, and he went to do his round. He's like, when I come back, you better be ready. And like I said, I got to be really cool with those vatos. They knew I was about my business, but that I wasn't really, I didn't really start shit, but that was about mine. So they do their round, and I was still talking to Dreamer, and I was like, hey, so what happened? I was like, can you get a hold of him? I can't get a hold of anybody. He's like, no one's coming to the event, no one's responding. He was like, what happened? What did they tell you? And I was like, nah, they didn't tell me anything. Yes, sir. This Vato over here from Sanho told me that the homies told him that I need to get that done or I'm gonna get a green light. And like the homies don't even talk to each other like that, like them threatening each other like that. So I was like, it don't make sense. And he was like, well, are you gonna do it? And I was like, well, I don't want to not do it. And then I turned around and so like, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing goes down. You know what I'm saying? So I went over there, and this was the first time I ended up jumping the picket twice. You know, officers, you know, they're sometimes they're dumb, you know, and sometimes they're cool. But anyhow, so I went out there and I was really slow, and I was like, I told him, I was like, hey, don't put me back in my shackles. Come on, don't put me back in my shackles, bro. I'm just gonna go. You know, I was. And for anybody who's been in Seg 4 and knows Officer Poole and Officer Baca, they're really big boys. They're really they're heavyweight, but they're big boys. And so he tells me, he's like, come on, let's go, come on. So he didn't put me in my shackles to where I had on my arm, my cuffs, but not the shackles, so I could move freely on my feet. Now the way it looked is there was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 silver tables in the pod with 4 seats around each. So right away I walked out. I kind of acted like I was walking towards the stairs to go upstairs, and the stairs were right in front of me. They take me upstairs, and I turned, and right away I turned and I booked it. I booked it over there to the to where the way it was is the picket is like blocks, white blocks, and above it's like a metal silver table. I hopped up and over where that picket was, and I looked, and I held myself, and the officer was shocked. He was shocked. The other Poole was the one taking me, and Baca was doing his rounds, so there was nobody there, and they left the key in the panel to where it was on, because you could hear it beeping from when the people were pressing their buttons to talk to the officers. So I hopped it. And then when I hopped it, I started slamming all the buttons. You just hear ching, 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 ching. You see lights turning on and off. Ching, 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 ching. And people are opening the doors. And like, it caught my homies off guard. It caught them homies off guard. And so sure enough, all of a sudden you see my bros run a couple cells down to a cell 27, who this about to talk big head. You know, he talked big. His name was Choo Choo. He talked big head. Like he was a super tough guy. You know what I'm saying? So he ran over there, and you see the homies run off in there, and you see them banging on each other. The officer had come and slam me on the floor, and I was just looking at this, you know, seeing everybody running up and down the stairs, and you know, through all the commotion, you could hear Puto, what the fuck did you do that for? We trusted you. We let you come and get your wreck out here. The fuck's wrong with you? You're gonna get us fired. And I was just looking just to see, and I seen that Vato from Sano over there in his, I guess his door didn't pop, or he closed it, one of the two. He was laughing and, you know, laughing at me, you know what I'm saying? So I walk over there, and finally they get the CERT team. The CERT team is a squad of all the officers that are trained to handle big riot situations. So this went on for a cool minute. Homies banging with each other and smashing each other, and I'm not sure if anybody got stabbed. I don't think anybody got stabbed. I don't think they were prepared to grab out knives, because it was all a lie. That Valtran had lied. It wasn't supposed to happen. So the CERT team comes in. This went on for a long time, dude. And you just see them, everybody get down. They got their guns, their assault paintball rifles, they got their beanbag shotguns. And at that time, there was a Vato named Gilardo. He was a STG. He's like, hey, what the fuck's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What the fuck? You're trying to get people killed? You're a fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. We give you time. There's all these threats, you know what I'm saying? And so that happens. They get me in cuffs, they get everybody riled up, they start, you know, shooting at people, getting people stalled back off into their rooms, and getting people taken to medical and everything. But they got me, before they took me to medical, they got me off into my room. You know, they maced me up pretty good, put me in there, let me sit in my mace. I was in cell 32. I get up in there, and as I'm walking by, I look at my homies, they look at me like, what the fuck was that about? Like, why'd you do that? They didn't say it, but their face told me that they were upset. So I get into my cell, and that was what happened right there for that situation. That's what happens when you're a stupid kid, listening to other idiots, especially people that ain't even from where you're from. Like, they're not gonna, people ain't gonna send, now that I'm older and I've been through prison, like, people ain't gonna send a message with the rival, not they weren't rivals, but with another gang that has nothing to do with the situation. They're gonna keep it quiet and keep it down low. So that was my first mistake as a kid, was listening to another audio and opening the gates when I shouldn't open the gates. So anyhow, I'm moving all these videos. I'm putting shorts on Facebook, and I'm putting the full videos here. There's gonna be more coming. This is just my beginning, y'all. Stick with me. Subscribe, y'all. Let's get it rocking. Let's go.